I want you to think back to a time where you were extremely excited for an update of a game. Maybe it was a new Minecraft update or a new season of old Fortnite. These were two games that gave me tons of excitement in the days leading up to a new update. I felt like the night of Christmas Eve as a kid when all I could think about was the fun and new things I'd have in the next day. Updates really help keep games fresh and exciting and overall extend the lifespan of games. Geometry Dash hasn't received an update in almost 7 years, so it's really been quite a while since anyone has had a feeling like this towards the game. But as we're less than a month away from 2.2, excitement is at an all-time high. So why is this video titled I'm worried about Geometry Dash updates if I keep reminiscing on good times with updates and my excitement about 2.2? Well, in this video I'm going to talk about things that make me nervous about 2.2 and future updates with the game, but it'll be balanced with other things that I'm excited about as well to make the video optimistic and not just me complaining the whole time. Let's get into it. I think what makes me the most nervous about 2.2 is that the community expectation has never been higher for an update. I think expectations, at least for video game updates, are calculated by two factors: the amount and the quality of content in the update, and the duration that people had to wait for said update. For example, old Geometry Dash updates didn't really introduce too much to the game besides a new level or two, new blocks, some small features, and sometimes a new game mode. But they came out only a few months apart, so expectations weren't too high. People were happy to get new content for the game and they didn't have to wait long for it. The problem with expectations in 2.2 is that the amount of time people have waited for this update has completely transcended any previous wait time for this game by far. The longest time the community had to wait for an update before 2.0 was only 3 months, and then it went to 9 for 2.0 and 17 for 2.1. Now it's been over 65 months since 2.1. The problem with this extreme wait time is that general expectation for the update only continues to increase. When people only wait a few months for an update in a game like Geometry Dash, they typically don't assume anything overwhelmingly great from a small update. But when the community has waited almost 7 years for an update in a game that has been out for 10, it's no surprise that one's expectations only rise, and that's definitely being seen. What really worries me about this is that I believe the community's reaction can directly impact RobTop's future motivation for the game. If 2.2 comes out and the community is overall enraged or angry about the update's quality and they're vocal about it, I worry that RobTop will completely give up on pursuing future updates, or at least be much less motivated to do so. If there are popular YouTube videos harshly criticizing 2.2, or the GD server becomes hostile in regards to the game, I definitely think they'll attract RobTop's attention. While it's possible that these could be simply just a vocal minority, for a guy who spent the better part of a decade working on a single update, if he gets constantly trashed or told his update is terrible, I can imagine it would really crush his motivation towards pursuing future updates. Now I see this on YouTube a lot, especially with myself. If a YouTuber spends tons of hours and lots of effort on a video and it either receives negative comments or just does horribly, they're much less likely to want to spend a lot of time on future videos. While this is just a similar situation, I really hope the community has valid expectations and they don't let their emotions take control. I really want the community to be happy and pleased after this update, no matter what prior expectations are. While 7 years really is an absurd time to wait for an update, I just hope the community can put that number aside for this and enjoy the new content. And that leads me exactly into what I'm excited about. 2.2 has an insane amount of content, and there's a lot that I'm really excited to try out. There's a new main level, 4 official platformer levels, new gauntlets, a new game mode, and a genuinely absurd amount of new features for level creators. While there will be a lot of content for players on day 1 of the update, I'm more excited about weeks down the road when creators get a hang of new creating features and can implement them into super fun online levels. Both the day 1 content and the potential for online levels are things that are really exciting to me, and I think they'll really make the game feel fresh again. I also think this update will increase active playtime for the majority of players. Right now, most of us who have been playing for years, we've accumulated an absurd amount of mana orbs, diamonds, and demon keys. I know for me, and at least most of my friends, we unlocked everything over 5 years ago, and ever since we've just been mindlessly collecting these things. At the time of me making this video, I have over 300,000 orbs, 775 demon keys, and over 19,000 diamonds. They really have been completely useless after unlocking everything, but I'm honestly really excited to have a use for them in 2.2. Since there are going to be over 700 new icons, the majority will surely be unlockable via the shops. In the new 2.2 trailer, 2 new shops were also shown, one that charges diamonds and another one that charges orbs. The numbers at the top could mean that so many are total required to purchase everything, or they're just arbitrary numbers. If they are the real total values of the shops, I've got a lot of work to do. Now, I'm not too sure about you all, but I love having more purposes to play games. Right now, I play online levels mostly to gain stars and advance on the leaderboard, which is really a good motivation for me already,
But being able to also grind for orbs, keys, and diamonds in order to purchase new icons is something that I think will really motivate and excite me. Now maybe I'm just motivated by the action of purchasing new things, but it's something I really look forward to in this update, and I think it'll really encourage players to be on the game more often and for longer. One more thing I'm worried about for this update has to do with really who I am as a player. I'd kind of consider myself to be a Geometry Dash boomer in a way. Ever since I took a 2 to 3 year break, I've really become a boomer in this game. Whenever I play levels that have a ton of moving objects or memory or stuff like that, I get really annoyed, and most of the time with hard demon levels I've beaten since coming back, they've all been old classic levels like Supersonic or Ultimate Demon Mix. With a lot of the weekly demons, I complain a lot because the gameplay is confusing or there are too many objects that lag my game. I really am like that old guy that complains that everything was better in the olden days. What makes me being a Geometry Dash boomer so detrimental is that 2.2 comes with an absurd amount of gameplay and visual changes. Platformer mode, crazy camera angles and effects, and much more, and to be honest, I'm very worried about that kind of gameplay. I remember when 2.0 first came out and moving objects were introduced, level creators were absolutely despicable with their gameplay. They were completely unsight readable, miserable to remember, and overall just extremely unfun and ugly. Now, I don't expect harder, insane, or demon levels to be super sight readable, but I really hope that easy, normal, and hard rated levels don't become a cesspool of annoying triggers and effects. Usually hard levels is what I use to star grind. They're usually sight readable and able to be beaten in one attempt, and I worry that with the new editing features, the difficulty will amp up with these type of levels and make them extremely confusing and unfun. I definitely think the new features will add a lot to level creation and make online levels much more unique. I just hope they're used well and enhance gameplay instead of making it worse. Now for my last thing I'm going to talk about, I'm going to mention something that I'm very confident and optimistic about with this update. Despite the community's expectations, I really do believe they're going to be happy with this update, no matter what. From being in the Geometry Dash official Discord server and watching plenty of Geometry Dash YouTubers, I really don't get the feeling that they're going to be overly critical about the update. I'm sure the update won't be perfect, and I'm certain there will be bugs or features that people dislike, but I think more than anything, this is a community that loves its developer. Despite the excessive time for this update to be developed and released, the community has continued to grow and evolve over the past 7 years into a very self-sustaining community that really just doesn't rely on updates to have a good time and continue playing the game. For most games now, I feel like they would die after not getting an update for a year, but the Geometry Dash community has sustained through it all. Now, for most of the Geometry Dash YouTubers I do watch, they're all very wholesome and seem like really nice, genuine people. I highly doubt any of them would be too harsh on the update or on RobTop, even if they're not big fans of it. The update, no matter how perfectly polished or bug-free it is still going to give the community something so new after so long, and I think that's all we can ask for.